Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. How bad do you want to change your life? Not just talk about it, not just dream about it, but actually wake up every single day and make it happen? Because let me tell you something. Change is not for the faint-hearted. It's not for the ones who quit at the first sign of struggle. It's for the warriors, the dreamers, the fighters, who stare fear in the face and say, not today. Every day, you've been given a choice to rise or a choice to fall back asleep, not just in your bed, but in your spirit. And every single day that you waste, someone else is hustling, someone else is grinding, someone else is becoming the person you said you wanted to be. But here's the truth. You still have time. The dream is still alive. The fire might be dim, but it's not out. You can fan the flame. You can start today. You can say, this is my moment. This is my time. This is my day. Let me tell you something real right now. You will never, ever outgrow struggle. You will never be too talented, too educated, or too blessed to face resistance. But it's not the resistance that defines you, it's how you respond. When life hits you, will you stay down or will you rise with blood in your mouth and fire in your soul and say, you hit me hard, but I'm still here? You've got something inside of you that the world hasn't seen yet. Some of you are walking around with a gift still sealed up, like a treasure hidden beneath the dirt of fear and procrastination. But guess what? You don't need permission to become who you were meant to be. You don't need a cheerleader. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You just need you to believe. That's the game changer. Let me say this loud and clear. Your past does not determine your future. I don't care if you failed, if you were laughed at, if you were abandoned, if you were doubted, so what? That was yesterday. This is now. The greatest chapters of your life have yet to be written, but they won't write themselves. If you want to change your life, here's what you do. Get hungry. Not the kind of hunger you feed with food, the hunger that can only be satisfied by growth, purpose, and destiny. Get clear. Clarity is power. If you don't know where you're going, how will you get there? Write the vision. See it every day. Speak it out loud. Act like it's already yours. Get consistent. Your success is hidden in your daily routine. It's not about what you do once. It's about what you do every single day when no one's watching. Wake up early. Read. Work on your craft. Speak affirmations. Do it over and over until the world can't ignore you anymore. But I won't lie to you. It's not going to be easy. You will cry. You will question yourself. You will want to give up. But when those moments come, and they will, you've got to remember your why. Why did you start? Why did you dream in the first place? Because if your why is strong enough, your how will find a way. People will say, you've changed. And you should say, yes, I have. I wasn't born to stay the same. Growth requires change. Change requires discomfort. But on the other side of discomfort is your destiny. So I challenge you. Yes, you watching this right now. Don't just watch this and nod your head. Don't just feel good for a moment and go back to sleep. On your potential. Watch this every day and decide, I'm not going back to who I was. I'm becoming who I was born to be. I don't care if you're 18 or 80, it's never too late to rise. Do it scared, do it tired, do it broke, do it alone if you have to. Just do it. People may not believe in you, so what? You believe in you. People may laugh at you, so what? Turn that laughter into fuel. Every second you waste is a second you could be building. Building your mindset, building your dream, building the life that deep down you know is possible. Don't die with your music still inside you. Don't bury your greatness beneath excuses. The world doesn't need another copy. It needs you, the real you, the bold you, the powerful yo. So I say to you today, get up, stand tall, speak life over your vision, and move like the person you were destined to be. Because one day, people are going to look at you and say, I remember when they started. I remember when no one believed, but now look at them. And you'll smile, not because you made it, but because you never quit. So watch this every day. Let it remind you. Let it fuel you. Let it stir the greatness inside of you. Because if you stay focused, stay hungry, stay faithful, you will change your life. And the world won't know what hit it. Your mindset shapes your reality. This isn't just a motivational phrase. It's a universal truth. The way you think, the beliefs you carry, the perspective you hold, they are all filters that shape the world you see and the life you create. Two people can face the same situation, yet have entirely different outcomes, not because of their environment, but because of their mindset. One sees obstacles, the other sees opportunity. One gets paralyzed by fear, the other is fueled by it. That's the power of mindset. It's not what happens to you, it's how you respond to what happens to you. When you believe you're capable, your actions follow that belief. When you believe you're not enough, your behavior shrinks to match that thought. Your external world is a reflection of your internal dialogue. If your mind is full of doubt, negativity, fear, and excuses, you will attract and create a life that mirrors that. But if your mind is wired for possibility, for growth, for strength, then even in storms, you'll find a way to rise. You become a magnet for solutions instead of a victim to problems. It all begins in the mind. The richest soil or the worst prison. Both exist between your ears. People spend years chasing strategies, skills, and shortcuts, not realizing that all of it becomes useless without the right mindset. You can have all the tools, all the support, all the opportunities, but if your mind isn't aligned with your goals, you'll sabotage every single blessing that comes your way. Why? Because you subconsciously believe you don't deserve it. That's how mindset operates. It either unlocks your potential or keeps you locked in your limitations. The greats, athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders, they don't win just because of talent or luck. They win because they train their minds to think in alignment with success. They speak power to themselves. They visualize victory. They embrace failure as part of the path, not the end of the road. They understand that circumstances don't dictate destiny, belief does. They aren't living in fantasy. They're just not bound by the fear that controls most people's thinking. What you feed your mind becomes your default. If you constantly consume negativity, gossip, fear, and doubt, your brain will wire itself to look for danger, expect failure, and avoid risk. But when you feed your mind with wisdom, courage, hope, and ambition, you begin to reprogram yourself for greatness. It's not magic, it's neuroscience. Your brain is constantly adapting. You are not stuck. You are not fixed. You are in motion toward growth or toward decay. And the direction is chosen by your thoughts. You have to guard your mind like it's sacred territory, because it is. Stop letting just anything into your thoughts. Not every opinion deserves a place in your belief system. Not every fear deserves to take root in your soul. You have to be intentional. If you want to level up your life, you have to level up your mindset. If you want different results, you have to start with different thinking. Your life will never go higher than your thoughts allow. Change your thoughts, and your world begins to change with them. You can't afford to walk around with a weak mindset. Not in a world that's designed to pull you down, distract you, and break you. You need a mindset that's stronger than your environment. You need a mindset that doesn't just react to life, but creates it. That means making a decision every day to choose strength over fear, purpose over comfort, and focus over distraction. Most people live on autopilot. They think what they were taught to think, believe what they heard growing up, and never stop to ask, is this really serving me? You're not most people. You're here because something in you knows you were made for more. And that starts with the foundation of it all, your mindset. When you master your mind, you master your life. When you lead your thoughts, you lead your results. Your outer world is a mirror reflecting your inner world. That's not philosophy. That's the raw, real blueprint to transformation. Discipline outperforms motivation. Motivation feels good, but it's fleeting. It comes and goes like the weather, unpredictable and unreliable. One day you feel inspired, energized, ready to take on the world. The next, you can't even get out of bed. That's where most people fail. They wait to feel like it. They wait for the perfect mood, the right moment, the emotional high. But success doesn't wait. Growth doesn't care how you feel. The world rewards action, not intention. That's why discipline is the game changer. Discipline shows up when motivation disappears. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. Anyone can be consistent when they're excited. Anyone can make big promises when the fire's hot. But what happens when the fire burns out? What happens when the initial excitement fades and all that's left is the grind? That's the test. That's when most quit. Discipline, though, doesn't need excitement. It runs on commitment. It runs on decision. It doesn't ask, do I feel like it? It says, this is who I am and this is what I do. The truth is, your goals don't care about your feelings. Your dreams don't wait for your motivation to return. Every successful person you admire, every high achiever who has made something of themselves, they weren't just more motivated than you. They were more disciplined. They trained themselves to push through the days they didn't want to, the days it hurt, the days it felt like nothing was working. They showed up anyway. They practiced when no one was watching. They kept moving when the progress was invisible. That's the kind of mindset that separates winners from wishers. Discipline is a muscle. It doesn't grow overnight. You build it by showing up again and again, especially when it's hard. It's forged in those early mornings, those late nights, those quiet moments where you choose effort over ease. And the more you practice it, the stronger it gets. You stop relying on emotion and you start relying on identity. It's no longer, I have to do this. It becomes, this is just what I do. You become someone who keeps promises to themselves. That's where real confidence comes from. Not from hype or praise, but from the quiet pride of knowing you're in control of yourself. Discipline isn't loud. It's not flashy. It doesn't need attention. It doesn't need applause. It's the small, consistent, unglamorous actions that add up over time to create extraordinary results. It's saying no when it's easier to say yes. It's choosing long-term growth over short-term comfort. It's staying focused when distractions are begging for your time. It's waking up early to train, to write, to study, to build while others are still sleeping on their potential. Discipline is the quiet force that builds empires behind closed doors. People talk about willpower, but willpower fades. Discipline turns into habit. And habits create momentum. Momentum builds identity. Identity shapes destiny. When you live with discipline, you don't have to fight yourself every day. You design your environment, you schedule your priorities, and you move with intention. You don't drift through life anymore, you drive it. You stop chasing motivation and start creating structure. That's the real flex. Not needing to be inspired every day, but choosing to rise regardless of the mood you're in. There's power in knowing that no matter what happens, you can rely on your habits. Discipline gives you freedom. Freedom from chaos, from inconsistency, from the emotional roller coaster that traps so many people in cycles of frustration. When others get stuck in excuses, you move forward in discipline. When others wait, you act. When others quit, you persist. And eventually, the compound effect of your discipline becomes unstoppable. While they were motivated for a season, you were disciplined for a lifetime. That's what builds legacy. Growth lives outside your comfort zone. As long as you stay where it's safe, familiar, and predictable, you're not growing. You're maintaining. Comfort is the enemy of progress. It lulls you into routines, habits, and mindsets that keep you exactly where you are. You stop challenging yourself, stop stretching, stop reaching. The comfort zone feels good, but nothing extraordinary is built there. All of your potential, your greatness, your next level, it's sitting just beyond that line of discomfort you're afraid to cross. Every breakthrough begins with a moment of discomfort. That first time you step into the unknown. That first time you say yes to something you're not ready for. That first time you try, fail, and try again. That is the edge of growth. It's scary. It's uncertain. But that's where transformation happens. You don't evolve by doing what you've always done. You evolve by doing what you've never done, by embracing the discomfort and learning who you really are when things get hard. Most people avoid discomfort like it's a threat. They confuse being uncomfortable with being unsafe. But discomfort is not danger, it's development. It's the sign that you're being stretched, tested, refined. It's your body and mind adjusting to new territory. When you start working out after being inactive, your muscles ache. That's not injury, it's growth. The same goes for your mindset, your skill set, your discipline. If you're not feeling resistance, you're not expanding. You're stuck in repetition. There's a reason so many people stay stuck in average. It's not because they aren't capable. It's because they are unwilling to be uncomfortable. They want success without sacrifice. They want results without resistance. But growth has a price. And that price is pain. It's uncertainty. It's rejection. It's showing up again. That's what separates the few who grow from the many who coast. You have to train yourself to lean into the discomfort, to see it as a signal, not a setback, to say, this feels hard, which means I'm growing. That mindset shift changes everything. You stop running from the challenge and start running toward it. You stop fearing failure and start embracing it as part of the process. You begin to understand that every uncomfortable moment is shaping you into someone stronger, smarter, and more prepared for what's ahead. The comfort zone is a trap disguised as peace. It gives you the illusion of control, but it steals your potential in silence. You don't notice it at first, but slowly your dreams get quieter, your energy fades, your confidence shrinks, and one day you look around and wonder where all your ambition went. It didn't leave you buried it under convenience. But the good news is you can dig it back up. You can choose discomfort. You can choose challenge. You can choose growth. You grow when you start the business without knowing all the answers. You grow when you speak in public, even though you're nervous. You grow when you take the risk, ask the question, try again after a setback. That's where the magic lives. In the moments when you don't feel ready, but you move anyway. Every time you step outside of what's comfortable, you build courage. You build resilience. You build a mindset that thrives under pressure. Growth is not a one-time leap. It's a lifestyle of embracing discomfort on purpose. It's putting yourself in rooms that challenge your thinking, around people who are ahead of you, in situations that force you to rise. It's saying yes to the unknown. Yes to the pressure. Yes to the version of yourself that you haven't even met yet. You can't become who you're meant to be while clinging to who you've always been. Growth demands that you let go of the familiar and step into the stretch. Your past does not define your future. It doesn't matter where you came from, what you've been through, or what mistakes you've made. None of that has the power to write the next chapter unless you give it permission. Too many people live their lives chained to a story that's already over. They replay old failures, past traumas, broken relationships, missed opportunities, and they let those memories set the limits for who they believe they can become. But the truth is, every day you wake up is a blank page, and you are the one holding the pen. Just because you failed in the past doesn't mean you're a failure. Just because you were hurt doesn't mean you have to stay broken. Just because you made poor choices doesn't mean you can't make better ones now. Growth is always available. Redemption is always possible, but you have to stop identifying with who you were and start committing to who you want to be. The past happened, yes. It shaped you, it taught you, but it doesn't have the right to control your identity unless you hand it the keys. People will try to define you by your past. They'll remember you for what you did wrong, for the old version of yourself they were comfortable with. But you're not obligated to stay the same for the sake of their comfort. You have the right to evolve. You have the right to reinvent yourself. You have the right to outgrow old labels, habits, environments, and beliefs. You are not stuck unless you choose to be. What happened to you might not be your fault, but what you do next is 100% your responsibility. The power of the human spirit is in its ability to rise, to start again, to rebuild after loss, after heartbreak, after rock bottom. Some of the most powerful people in the world have the darkest pasts, but they refuse to be defined by their lowest moments. They made a decision that their history would be their lesson, not their limitation. They didn't erase the past. They used it as fuel. They looked at their pain and said, this won't destroy me. This will develop me. You have to believe that your future is not tied to your past. It's tied to your decisions. You can carry the pain or you can carry the lesson, but you can't carry both. At some point, you have to drop the weight of what was so you can reach for what could be. That means forgiving yourself. That means silencing the shame. That means letting go of what no longer serves your future, even if it once felt familiar or comfortable. There is no growth in replaying your regrets. There is no freedom in blaming the past for your presence. What there is, however, is power in taking control, power in writing a new narrative, power in showing up every day and declaring, this is not how my story ends. The moment you stop letting your past speak louder than your vision, your entire life begins to change. You stop moving in circles and start moving with purpose. You stop hiding and start building. You stop repeating old patterns and start creating new standards. The past is a place of reference, not residence. It's something to learn from, not live in. Every experience you've had, good or bad, can serve your future if you choose to use it wisely. Nothing has been wasted. Not the pain, not the failure, not the delay. Every scar carries wisdom. Every setback carries a seed of strength. But you can't harvest that strength if you're still watering the weeds of shame and regret. You are not the same person you were back then. You've survived. You've grown, you've changed. And if you haven't yet, you can start now. The decision to no longer be defined by your past is one of the most powerful choices you'll ever make. It's not about pretending it didn't happen. It's about refusing to let it keep happening through your thoughts, your actions, and your identity.